Already. Good morning, good evening, everyone, depending on where you will be watching this video. My name is Jeremy Kens, and in my channel, my YouTube channel, my Facebook page, we talk about immigration, education, business, families of immigrants that lives here in the United States of America. In this channel, we share ideas, we share challenges, we share opportunities on how you can become the better version of yourself here in America, and why not also live your own American dream here in America, here in the United States of America. If it's something that speaks to you, you want to be part of this journey, please go ahead and smash the subscribe button right here. Share this information with your contact, because I'm pretty sure that here I do provide helpful information that many people living here in America need, and they don't have access to it. And also, put in a comment, any other topic that you would like us to discuss about in the future. So today's video is going to be about international student. We know that coming here in America as an international student is, first of all, very difficult, because the process to get a visa is complicated. If you don't have a good financial sponsor, right, it's going to be very, very difficult for you to even get that visa. And then even when you get the visa, things happen. So let's say, for example, your dad was the one sponsoring you and he passed away, right? And he didn't have like a business that was running and generating money. So you're in trouble at that time, right? And also, parents are making a lot of sacrifices for international students to live here, to go to school. And we know that United States is one of the countries where the education is expensive, especially for international students. In average, a semester or a year for an international student is around $10,000. $10,000 if you're from Cameroon, that's about 6 million francs CFA. So that's a lot of money that they are spending only for tuition. We're not talking about what they're going to eat, the insurance, what if they're ill and stuff like that. So it's very expensive for parents. So in this video, I'll be sharing ideas and tips that international students can put into place for them to generate additional cash. That additional cash can help them pay for the tuition, pay for the car insurance, buy a vehicle, pay for fuel, basically take care of the basic needs that they have here in the United States. So stay to the end of the video, because at the end of the video, I'll be sharing 2 or 3 side hustle that you as an international student, you can start practicing and get money to, to pay for to even pay for your tuition. Why not? So see you very soon. So as I mentioned at the introduction of this video, I'll be talking about this possibility of international students to get a job outside of the country, of the campus. We all know that as an international student, you pretty much don't have a working permit, right? You don't have, beside your F1 visa, you don't have any other legal documentation that allows you to work in the United States. So most of the time, the only place that you will be allowed to work is going to be on campus. Okay. So today I'm going to share this information that most people don't know. Yes, it's possible for international students to get employment outside of the campus. It is important to also note that this process that I'm about to share with you guys is a case-by-case process. So it does not mean that everybody is going to be qualified. And it's also important to know that you need to provide sufficient and solid documentation to show that you really actually need the work to work outside of the campus to make money. So the United States made some provisions as far as F1 students to allow them to work outside of the campus. And most of the time it's going to be due, an F1 student can get a job off campus if he is experiencing a severe financial and economic hardship. Means severe. You need to highlight that word. Severe financial and economic hardship. And then people are going to ask me, what goes into the severe financial or economic hardship? So what can be considered as a severe financial hardship is, for example, your sponsor, for example, your dad, as I mentioned at the beginning, was the one paying for your school, pass away or loses his job, or is not able anymore to pay for your tuition for multiple reasons. That could be a severe economic or finance crisis that you're going through, right? Or for example, while you are a student here, you you get hospitalized, and then you have so much medical bills that you need to pay, and that also can be considered as a financial hardship, right? And for another example is that if the cost of living extremely goes up, right, that can also be taken into consideration for you to be qualified to get a job off campus. Okay, so I mentioned loss of financial aid on campus. So for example, if you are not able or you were not able to get, or you lost your employment on campus, not because of your fault, because maybe the campus doesn't have enough position and stuff like that, you can be qualified for off-campus job. In addition to those ones that I just mentioned, I also made another example where you can be qualified for off-campus job is an increase of your tuition. So let's say the university drastically increase your tuition. So let's say when you started there, the tuition was like 10,000 a year, and then next year it went up to 18,000. $18,000 a year. That's a drastic change on tuition. So you can use that to apply with the Department of Homeland Security to get a job off campus. And I'll also discuss on this video how you can apply for that. Also, if, like I mentioned, if you have medical bills to pay and other substantial and unexpected expenses, right? So if you meet those requirements, you could be qualified. Remember, I said you could be. So I'm not saying, so having all those is not a guarantee that you will be allowed to get a job off campus. But however, you have chances to apply or get a job off campus if you are able to gather all the evidence of some of the example that I mentioned on this previously. So now let's say you are experiencing one or two of these example that I just mentioned earlier. So what do you need to do? First of all, you need to fill out the form I-765. The form I-765, as you can see on the screen, is a form that would allow you to be eligible to get a working permit for you to be able to work off campus, right? And then under the eligible category, you are going to select the C33, right? And then you submit that alongside with supporting documentation. And again, as I mentioned, this is a possibility, but it's not guaranteed that you are going to be allowed to get a job, to get a job off campus. Okay, so now let's talk about jobs that you are naturally qualified as an international student. I'll be talking about those jobs and then also present some advantage and also some requirement that you need to have in order for you to get those jobs. Okay, so the number one job is going to be a resident assistant. Just like a name, the title says it, you are going to be responsible for dorms, right? So you'll be assigned a dorm section, for example, 15, 20 rooms. And most of the time, a resident assistant for the female dorm is going to be a female, and then resident assistant for male dorm are going to be male, for the simple reason that females are not allowed into men dorms, and then male are not also allowed into female dorm. So that's one of the most important job that you can get as an international student. So what you need in order for you to be qualified for that position, you need to have studied for at least 1 year in that university. You need to have very strong leadership skills, because as you know, you are going to be responsible for about 20, 15, 30 dorms, right? You make sure that the dorms are secure. You make sure that all the rules and regulations are being followed by the students. You make sure that if there's any conflict that arise between the student are taken care of. So you kind of have that leadership role where you'll be managing students, you'll be managing not just the student but also the dorm, and you'll also be making sure that they are following the university rule related to dorms. Okay, so for example, if you need to be in your room by a certain time, you as a resident assistant need to make sure that every student in the dorms that you are responsible for are in the room at that time. If there's the policy or the rule says no parties, right? Students are not allowed to party in the dorm. You make sure that you enforce those rules. So basically, you are kind of going to be the police, right, of those dorms, making sure that everything goes well, and you also be like a mediator, right? Basically, if two students in the dorm are having issues, so for example, in one room, sometimes some university will have two students, right? Or in one apartment, they have 5 bedroom in one apartment, and then they share the kitchen, they share the bathroom, and stuff like that. So issues are going to come up, right? So you need to be that person with how you call this a mediator, right? And also you need to have good communication skills, and then you also need to be very outspoken, right? You will not succeed in that position if you are shy, if you cannot speak up, if you cannot be courageous, because those kids are not there to play. You see some type of kid out there, right? Kids that parents have gave up on them and then say just go to college and get on the dorm and leave us alone. Okay, so those are the type of student that you're going to be dealing with day to day, right? And then you'll be reporting to the dorm managers and stuff like that on different issues and activities that are taking place in the dorm that you are responsible. Also, it's important that you know that you are not going to be the only responsible for a particular dorm, right? So you're going to have a team that you guys work with. So those are pretty much going to be the requirement for you to be able to work as a resident assistant. So now it's very important to also note that those positions are in high demand, meaning that there are going to be multiple candidates applying for those positions. So you need to outstand yourself, right? Your application needs to be outstanding, right? So you need to put into your application all of the how you call this leadership experience, position that you have held in the past, if you have been the president of some groups, and most likely some of the president of groups in university are most likely going to be the one assigned to those type of position. What are the benefits? One of the most important benefit is that you are going to be living rent free. So you are not going to be paying the dorm fees, which we know is not cheap, right? So if you can get that out of your way, you are saving a lot of money every year. So that's one of the big benefits of that position. You are going to be living rent free. Another big advantage of this position is that you are not going to be required to pay for the cafeteria, right? So you'll be having free meal in the morning, at lunch, and dinner, right? You can't beat that, right? And those advantages also needs to tell you that the position is going to be it's not going to be easy to get, but it's worth it, right? Put all of the chances on your side and go for that position if you meet all of the requirements. Um, Another advantage of this position is that we all know that at the end of each semester, students are required to leave the dorm, right? And then when they come back, most likely they are not going to be assigned the same dorm that they were last semester. A good advantage of resident assistant is that you are not required to leave the campus when the semester is over. So you can still stay on campus and then continue working or get another job on campus, and you don't have to worry about going out of campus, for the break. So you still be on campus. So those are kind of the advantage and also the requirement for that position as for the resident assistant position. So now we are going to go to the second position that you can apply on campus. Is going to be the office assistant. Right? An office assistant is basically uh, an administrative clerk, right? You are going to be working in an office. It could be in the office of engineering, it could be in the office of science, it could be in the office of, and then you'll be working for maybe the director or maybe the head of the department as his assistant, administrative assistant, right? Because sometimes those people are also teachers. You're not going to be assisting them in the roles of teaching, but you're going to assist them administratively, meaning that if they have meeting that they need to attend to, you need to schedule those meetings. You need to answer phone calls. Sometimes you'll be required to send emails and stuff like that. So basically, you'll be working as a secretary, right? Taking note, answer to emails, answer to phone call, take messages, report to them, and such and so on. So that position is very easy because it's not going to be too demanding as the resident assistant, because you will only be working open hours, right? Which is basically going to be 9 to 5, right? At 5 o'clock, you're done, right? And it doesn't come with a lot of benefits. It's just that the one of the important benefits that I see in this position is that you are going to make a lot of contact, right? You are going to build strong relationship and great networking opportunity for you in the university. Okay, so that is number two jobs that you can easily get on campus. Number three is going to be a job working in the cafeteria. But in the cafeteria, so this job working in the cafeteria is going to be a little bit challenging because it's a little bit physical, because you have to be on your feet for a couple hours. You'll be preparing meals for students that comes in the cafeteria. You're going to be required to clean. You're going to be required to carry a little bit of heavy weight stuff, for example, trash and stuff like that. So it's a little bit demanding. But at the end of the day, if we can help you pay for your car insurance, pay for your clothes, or pay for basic needs that you have, it's worth it. So that's going to be the role of working on the school cafeteria, right? Another job that you can get uh, working on campus is going to be a tutor, right? Tutoring service, right? You can provide tutoring service in the tutor center, right? So if you are very good in math, physics, mostly science subject, and also some literature subjects such as language and international or different foreign language, right? You can apply for a position. And also, for example, if you say you're going to be a math teacher or math tutor, you need to make sure that you are good in math, right? And also, depending on the class that you are currently taking, right, you are going to be assigned students that are either the same level or lower. So, for example, if you are currently taking Calculus 2, they are not going to assign you to tutor students that are taking a differential equation, for example. Okay, so you'll be taking students that are Calculus 2 or below, right? Also, a requirement is that you need to be in school you need to have been enrolled in the university for a year, and you need to also have good grade on that subject. And also, sometimes they require recommendation from the teachers, right? So that's some of the requirements for that position, right? And also it's a good position because if you're scheduled to do the tutoring from for 2 hours, and then within those 2 hours there's no student, you can take that time to actually study, do your homework, and still get paid. Right? Basically, you are getting paid to do your job. Okay, you're getting paid to go to school, and you're also getting paid to double pay. Right? You're getting your homework done, and also you're on the clock. You're making some extra cash. Okay. So, and that's the number three position, that you can get on campus. Number four is going to be a teacher assistant. Most of these positions are for graduate students. Most of the time, they'll be working hand to hand with a teacher, and then that teacher is going to be kind of like the mentor. They're going to work with them. Maybe if they are working on the thesis, right? That teacher is going to be basically following them along as they are progressing on the student. And then in exchange, you as an assistant student, you will be assisting the teacher. And during that time, you will be, for example, you are going to uh, uh, do some class exercise with the student. You are going to help the teacher correct exams. You are going to help the teacher in the lab with students. You are going to assist with different things that the teacher may need your help with, right? So basically, you are his assistant, right? And then he would need you to do some basic stuff, just as I mentioned. So that's another position that you, as a international student, you are also eligible for. And then, as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, international student, you only be required to work 20 hours a week. So that's the full time. That's the maximum time that you can get. Okay. And also, these are a couple jobs that I know that international students are qualified to do. It's very important to note this. So let's say you are in a university, and then on campus you have, for example, a McDonald's or a fast food, right? Which is not in any case affiliated to the university. You will not be qualified to apply to that McDonald's just because that McDonald's is not affiliated to the university. They're just on campus because the school invited them, to give more options to students at what on what they can eat. But however, you as an international student, you will not be qualified to apply for that position. So that's something important to note. Also, another thing important to note is that you need to maintain a certain GPA, right? So for you to, as an international student, and for you to be able for you to be qualified to get a job on campus, you need to maintain a GPA, right? Why? Because the number one reason why you are there is for your studies, right? So in any way or any form, they're not going to allow you going under a certain GPA. If you fall below that GPA, they will have to terminate your job and put you in some type of program so that you can get back on track before even allowing you again to go and apply for a position on campus. So that's very important to note. So this kind of explains how you can get job offline or off campus and also on campus. And as I promised to you guys, I'll be sharing one or two other job. They're kind of not job. I like to call them side hustle or gigs that you can also do, and it does not necessarily be on campus. So I'll share one or two for if you're a male, and then one or two if you're a female. I want to start with female first. So if you are an international student and you are a female, it's important that if you're not yet here in the United States, or even if you're still here, you need to learn how to braid, right? Because that's something that you can braid your friend's hair and then get paid. We know how expensive that braiding is here in the United States. To braid a hair, is minimum $200, right? So you can spend your weekends, your Saturday, making $300 on maybe one or two hair. Okay, so that's one of the skills that if you're female, you need to learn. That right there is going to help you get some extra cash. If you don't want, if the money that you're getting on your on-campus job is not enough, or if you don't even have an on-campus job, that right there can provide you a lot of money that even the on-job or on-campus job is not going to provide you per week, right? So that's one of the jobs that if you are an international student and you're a female, learn how to braid hair, right? That's extra money that you'll be making, and you can make actually a lot of money if you're good at it. Okay, so number two that you can also do is babysitting, right? If you love kids, right, you know how to handle kids and manage kids and stuff like that, that's another great job, right? You can find families, you can create posts online on Facebook, you can have flyers that you can post on your neighborhood and say you are a student at such university and then you're looking for something to do maybe during the weekend or evenings, right? And then you can also go and sleep at their place if you trust them, if you trust them enough. So, and those pays were very good. You can get paid up to $50 an hour, right? Babysitting kids, right? And if you're lucky enough, some kids are very adorable and quiet and nice. When you are there, you can do your homework, you can study, and you get some money. So those are the two ideas that you, as a female international student, you can do in order to get some extra cash. So as a male, right, there are a few things that you can also do. Cut hair, right? We all need a haircut as men, right? Females need their hair to be braided, right? If you know how to cut hair, right, yeah, you can be a good barber. If you're a good barber, you can cut your friend hair for. So, for example, if the barber actually charges them $25, you can say, okay, hey, I'll cut your hair for $15 or $10, right? If you cut, and to cut the hair, it's probably going to take you an hour, right? To cut the hair and be done with it, right? If you say on a weekend you are going to cut 10 hair or during a week, because some people can even do that during the week, right? If you cut 10 hair every 3 days, that's just an example, right? You're making some money, right? That's $10 per hair. 10 hair, that's $100. If you do that 3 times a week, that's going to be $300 that you make every week. Okay. And another job that you as a male can do is you can repair computers, laptop, phones, and stuff like that if you're good in electronics, right? Every student have a laptop nowadays, right? Everyone has a cell phone, right? So that's something that you can also do. You can learn how to repair computers, learn how to repair phones and stuff like that, and then have that as your side gig. You get the money cash, right? And then you can make good living out of that. Okay, so if you have watched the video to now, thank you so much. Please go ahead and share this video with anyone that you know that is international student, because I'm pretty sure that they're going to learn a lot from this video, and then their life as an international student will be great and a good experience for them. Please go ahead and share, like, and most importantly, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our videos. With this being said, I'll see you on the next video. Ciao.